Commanders fans, get ready because these 3 pieces of news are going to completely change everything you thought you knew about the upcoming season. I just went through all the information that came out this week, and I swear when you finish listening to this, you'll have a totally different perspective on this team's future. First up, one of our most underrated receivers just landed on a list that no one in the NFL ever wants to see. And when you find out the specific numbers and implications this has for our offense, you'll be at a loss for words. Second, our star running back is experiencing the most critical year of his professional career. And the brutally honest statements he's just made about his availability and goals are going to shock you in a way you can't imagine. And third, our new star on the offensive line, that Pro Bowler we got for a pile of picks, just dropped a bombshell about his new teammates that has the entire Washington organization buzzing from coaches to management. If you thought you knew this, Commanders team inside and out, if you believed you knew exactly what to expect for the 2025 season, you're totally wrong, and I'm going to show you why. These 3 news items aren't coincidences. They're clear signals about where this franchise is heading under the leadership of Dan Quinn and Adam Peters. I honestly cannot believe what I just discovered about Olamide Zaccheaus when I dug deep into his 2024 stats. And when you hear these specific numbers and understand what this means for our offense, you'll realize why this receiver has been one of the most criminally underrated players in the entire National Football League. Have you ever experienced doing everything perfectly at work, executing every detail flawlessly, only for someone else to ruin all your effort? Well, I'm telling you this without exaggeration. Olamide Zaccheaus lived exactly that football nightmare throughout the 2024 season, and the numbers I'm about to share with you are absolutely devastating. Zaccheaus achieved what we could consider his best statistical season, with 45 receptions for 506 yards and 3 touchdowns, matching his personal record for touchdowns in a single season. But here's the part that has me completely outraged. According to Kevin Petra's detailed analysis on NFL.com, Zaccheaus officially appeared on the most unfortunate statistics list for the entire 2024 season. And when you hear the specific reason, you'll understand why this is a total injustice. Do you know exactly how many touchdowns were called back from Zaccheaus due to penalties that weren't his fault? Exactly 3 touchdowns. The same 3 touchdowns he officially scored all season. This means, in reality, if it weren't for those penalties by his teammates, Zaccheaus would have had 6 touchdowns instead of 3. Think carefully about this scenario for a moment. This man ran routes with surgical precision, beat the toughest defensive coverages, made spectacular receptions under pressure, reached the end zone celebrating with his teammates, only to see those damn yellow flags raised by refs for penalties he didn't commit. Can you imagine the psychological frustration that must generate in a professional athlete? I sincerely believe there's nothing more devastating for a player than executing your job to absolute perfection and having it snatched away due to errors completely unrelated to your individual performance. Zaccheaus did everything an elite receiver is supposed to do. Studied defenses, ran precise routes, created separation, made difficult catches, and completed plays in the end zone. Dan Quinn knows this player better than any other coach in the NFL because they worked together for 4 full seasons in Atlanta, where Zaccheaus developed his game under Quinn's direct tutelage. Do you really think it's just a coincidence that Quinn specifically insisted on bringing Zaccheaus to Washington when he had the chance? I'm telling you categorically, it's no coincidence. Quinn knows exactly what he has in Zaccheaus, a fundamentally solid, incredibly reliable receiver who consistently finds creative ways to beat defensive coverages precisely when the team needs it most. For an offense that's still working on building solid chemistry with rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, those lost points because of penalties were absolutely critical for developing offensive rhythm. Each negated touchdown represented a missed opportunity to establish momentum, build trust between quarterback and receiver, and create that synchronization great offenses need to be consistently successful. And now I pose this fundamental question to you. how many specific games could have changed outcome with those 3 additional touchdowns Zachos deserved? When we analyze the margins of victory and defeat in modern NFL, 3 touchdowns can literally be the difference between making playoffs or staying home in January. The connection between Quinn and Zachos goes beyond familiarity. It represents mutual trust developed through years of working together. Quinn knows he can count on Zachos in crucial moments, and Zachos understands exactly what Quinn expects from him in high-pressure situations. That chemistry will be key to the success of Washington's offense in 2025. And you know what gets me most optimistic about Zachos for next season? The law of averages says that bad luck can't continue indefinitely. The penalties that negated his touchdowns were statistical aberrations, not the norm. In 2025, those touchdowns will turn into real celebrations, and Zachos will get the recognition he deserves. If that surprised you, get ready because what's coming is even more shocking. Commanders fans, buckle up because Brian Robinson Jr. has officially entered the most important, most definitive, and most critical year of his entire professional career. This running back is in the final year of his rookie contract, which means every play, every yard, every touchdown will directly determine whether he becomes a millionaire or has to seek opportunities elsewhere. The statements Robinson just made in his interview with reporters last week have me completely convinced we're about to witness the best season of his career. And I'm going to explain exactly why every word indicates this man is mentally prepared to explode statistically. Robinson was brutally honest and direct. When talking about his goals, the most important thing for me is just being available, being on the field. When I'm healthy and I'm good, the most important thing for me is just being available, being there on the field where I can keep producing. Do you fully comprehend the deep meaning of those words coming from a player in his contract year? I interpret those statements as a mature admission that Robinson has identified exactly what has been his biggest weakness during his first 3 seasons: inconsistency and availability due to minor injuries that have limited him at crucial moments. When a player can honestly recognize his limitations and specifically focus his preparation on overcoming those weaknesses, that indicates a level of professional maturity that generally precedes exceptional seasons. But here are the numbers that really have me excited. Robinson posted career stats in 2024 with 799 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns, directly helping the Commanders reach the NFC Championship game. However, I'm telling you with complete certainty, those numbers don't even tell half. The real story of his impact. Do you know what Robinson's fundamental problem was last season? Minor injuries that limited him in several critical games. When Robinson was completely healthy and playing without physical limitations, he was practically unstoppable. His combination of power, vision, and determination made him a nightmare for opposing defenses. Cliff Kingsbury, who as offensive coordinator has worked with elite running backs throughout his career, knows exactly the potential Robinson has operating at 100% physical capacity. Kingsbury's specific comments about Robinson have me incredibly excited for next season. He's been really focused. The biggest thing coming out of last year, I think, is that any of the guys we asked to come in and played at a really high level. B-Rob is a guy who's played at an incredibly high level. I think early in the year when he was really healthy, he was what we expect him to be, and the focus he's had this offseason has been great. He knows what this year means for him, and it can mean for us when he plays at that level. Did you hear that clearly? The offensive coordinator is basically publicly confirming that Robinson has proven potential to be an absolute star when completely healthy, and is indicating that Robinson understands perfectly the critical importance of this season for his financial future. Now, I pose this fundamental question to you. What happens when you combine a naturally strong and physically powerful back like Robinson with a significantly improved offensive line that now includes a Pro Bowler like Laramie Tonsel? The mathematical answer is simple: a potentially explosive combination. That could result in statistical numbers never before seen in Robinson's career. Robinson will run behind a completely renewed and physically dominant offensive line that includes not only Tonsel, but also players like Brandon Coleman, who will now move to his natural guard position, Tyler Biadasz at center, Sam Cosmi at right guard, and rookie Josh Conerly Jr. at right tackle. This improved protection will not only create larger holes for Robinson, but will also allow Washington's ground game to reach a level of dominance we haven't seen in years. This is a back who literally survived a shooting incident during his rookie season, was hospitalized, and came back stronger and more determined than ever. Do you honestly believe minor injuries that limited him last year will stop a man with that kind of mental strength in his most important contract year? I categorically do not doubt Robinson is hungry, motivated, physically prepared, and surrounded by the best offensive talent he's had since arriving in the NFL. That combination of internal and external factors will be absolutely dangerous for any defense that faces him in the 2025 season. Also, consider the psychological context. Robinson knows this is his chance to secure his financial future and establish himself as one of the respected backs in the league. That extra motivation, combined with his natural talent and the improved circumstances around him, creates the perfect conditions for a historic season. And you know what makes me most confident about Robinson's success in 2025? His honesty about his goals and his specific focus on availability. When an athlete can clearly identify their areas of improvement and dedicate their entire preparation to addressing those weaknesses, it generally results in a significant leap in performance. But everything I just explained is nothing compared to the bomb that's coming next. This is Burgundy and Gold at its finest, baby. Laramie Tonsel, the most expensive and most impactful acquisition of the Commanders all season, has just dropped a completely explosive statement about his new teammates, which has the entire organization talking from Dan Quinn to Adam Peters. And when you hear exactly what he said about rookie Josh Conerly Jr., you'll fully understand why the Washington Commanders have just created the most physical, most talented, and most fearsome offensive line in the entire NFC East. Tonsel, who is a perennial Pro Bowler, an all-pro left tackle when completely healthy, and one of the most respected quarterbacks protectors in the entire National Football League, held nothing back when reporters asked his initial impressions of the rookie during last week's mandatory minicamp. His response was direct, no filters, and completely revealing. Dogs was his initial assessment of the entire group. But then he specifically focused on Conerly with an endorsement that has me completely excited. Do you know who I'm really impressed by? JC Conerly. JC is going to be a dog, and I'm not saying that to pump his ego. JC is going to be a dog, man. I can't wait to see him. Do you fully understand the importance of those words coming specifically from Laramie Tonsel? This isn't an average player giving a casual opinion about a teammate. Tonsel has played against and alongside some of the best offensive linemen in the world during his 9 seasons in the NFL. He has faced elite pass rushers like Khalil Mack, T.J. Watt, and Aaron Donald. When a player of his caliber gets publicly excited about a rookie, it means something extraordinary. But here's the part that really convinces me Conerly is going to be special. Tonsel explained in detail exactly why he's so impressed. Just the way he moves, the way he bends, athletic, smart, very smart. I think he has all the tools to be a damn good player in this league. And do you know what that specific assessment means in practical terms? That Washington not only acquired an established all-pro tackle to protect Jaden Daniels immediately, but also found and simultaneously developed their long-term successor in the most critical position on the offensive line. I sincerely believe Adam Peters executed the absolute all-season masterstroke when he negotiated that massive trade of picks for Tonsel with the Houston Texans. Do you know exactly why that trade was so crucial? Because after watching Jaden Daniels literally run for his life most of last season, Peters understood that protecting his franchise quarterback was the absolute #1 priority to ensure. The successful development of the offense, the complete transformation of this offensive line is historically significant. Tonsel anchors protection at left tackle. Brandon Coleman moves to his more natural position at left guard. Tyler Biadasz provides stability and experience at center. Sam Cosmi continues his development at right guard. And Connolly immediately takes on the responsibility of right tackle as a rookie. Do you fully realize what we've just created in terms of combined talent? A physical wall that will not only give Daniels enough time to find his receivers downfield, but will also open massive and consistent holes for Brian Robinson to explode statistically during his contract year. Tonsel is entering his 10th season in the NFL, meaning he brings a full decade of experience against the best pass rushers in the world. His leadership and mentoring will be crucial to accelerating the development of younger players like Coleman and especially Connolly, who is making the transition from left tackle at Oregon to right tackle in the NFL. And now I pose this critical question to you. What happens when you combine proven all-pro experience with young, hungry, and physically gifted talent? The historical answer in the NFL has been offensive lines that dominate for multiple seasons and lay the foundation for offensive dynasties. Connolly comes directly from Oregon, where he was the undisputed starter at left tackle throughout his final season. He's 6'5", weighs 310 pounds of functional muscle, and while transitioning to the right side of the line may require some initial technical adjustments, Tonsel already sees him not only as the immediate present, but the long-term future of the position. Do you really believe it's just a coincidence that an established star like Tonsel is so visibly excited and optimistic about the skills of a rookie? I'm telling you categorically, it's no coincidence. Tonsel has developed an expert eye for recognizing elite talent when he sees it, and his enthusiasm about Connolly indicates this rookie has the physical and mental tools to become a star. The chemistry developing between Tonsel and Connolly during these early practices is exactly what the Commanders need to establish a dominant offensive identity. When the star veteran embraces and mentors the talented rookie, it generally results in accelerated development that benefits the entire unit. Also, consider the impact on Jaden Daniels after a rookie season where he constantly had to worry about defensive pressure. He will now operate behind protection that includes one of the best left tackles in the league. This additional confidence will allow Daniels to focus completely on reading defenses and making precise throws instead of constantly worrying about his physical safety. And do you know what the most exciting aspect of this offensive line transformation is? That is not just an improvement for one season. It's building a solid foundation for multiple years of offensive dominance. Tonsel can protect Daniels immediately while Connolly develops. And when Tonsel eventually retires, Connolly will be fully prepared to take on the responsibilities of left tackle. Peters and Quinn's long-term vision is evident in every move they've made. They're not just building for 2025. They're laying the foundations for an offensive dynasty that could dominate the NFC East over the next decade. And when you thought we were done analyzing these historical implications, Commanders fans, I need us to recap these 3 pieces of news in detail because each is significant on its own. But when we analyze them together, they reveal a complete picture of where this organization is headed under the visionary leadership of Dan Quinn and Adam Peters. First, Olamide Zaccoz and his unfortunate 2024 season teach us that true talent eventually manifests when circumstances align correctly. Those 3 touchdowns called back due to penalties won't define his career. They'll motivate him for a 2025 season where luck finally sides with him and where he can show why Quinn specifically insisted on bringing him to Washington. Second, Brian Robinson Jr. is living the most critical year of his professional career with the right mindset, the appropriate focus, and the improved circumstances he needs to explode statistically. His honesty about the importance of availability, combined with a significantly improved offensive line, creates the perfect conditions for Robinson to secure his financial future with a historic season. Third, Laramie Tonsel not only represents a massive immediate improvement in Jaden Daniels' protection, but he's also establishing a culture of excellence and mentorship that will benefit the entire offensive line for multiple seasons. His specific enthusiasm about Josh Conley Jr. indicates that Washington not only solved its immediate problems, but also secured its long-term future in the most critical position. Do you fully comprehend what's happening here? The Commanders aren't just building a competitive team for one season. They're systematically creating the foundations for a dynasty that could dominate the NFC East for years. The connection between these three pieces of news is evident. Zackos will benefit from better protection that will give Daniels more time to find him on precise routes. Robinson will statistically explode running behind a dominant physical line. And Tonsel will anchor protection that allows the entire offense to operate with confidence and aggression. Which of these three pieces of news specifically has you most excited for the start of the 2025 season? Do you honestly believe Robinson will surpass 1,000 rushing yards running behind this completely revamped offensive line? And what are your thoughts on the specific confidence Tonsel is showing in Conley as the immediate future of right tackle? I guarantee categorically that these aren't going to be the last impactful news items we'll discuss about the Commanders, because this organization under Peters and Quinn doesn't stop making strategic moves. You absolutely cannot miss what's coming in the next few weeks, because every decision they make is building towards something historically special in Washington. Are you ready to be a part of this historic transformation? Like immediately if you believe Robinson will have the best season of his career. Subscribe now if you're completely excited about the impact this new offensive line is going to have, and comment specifically on which of these three news items you think will create the most positive impact on our success in 2020-5. This fan community isn't just a group of spectators. We're a united family witnessing the rebirth of a historic franchise. We need each and every one of you to actively be part of this Burgundy and Gold revolution taking shape before our eyes. Tomorrow, we're back with more detailed analysis, more explosive news, and more reasons to be optimistic about the immediate future of the Washington Commanders. Don't miss a single episode, because history is being written in real time. And never forget, hail to the Redskins, baby!